Meet the Hagmaxxers. These are Gen Z males who are done dating Gen Z females and have instead turned to date millennial women. And they call themselves Hagmaxxers. And that is derogatory,
yes,
of course.
millennial women, you should be offended by this.
So, I cannot find any proof that this ever existed.
I don't care. It's awesome even if it's fake.
Here's the description. A very strange phenomenon is making its rounds on social media. Gen Z men are ditching casual sex with their women to pursue long-term relationships with financially stable and experienced millennial ladies.
Wait, I
In
thought
this economy, okay. I mean,
In this economy.
I thought
Yeah, that is funny. So they're just becoming sugar babies, right?
I thought that.
well, we are in a society of weaker men now, right? I mean, just weak people, people in general.
I thought you said that Gen Z isn't having sex anyways.
Not statistically as much as prior generations, true, but I think this makes sense if it's true, because Gen Z women, I think, are going for millennial men because Gen Z men just kind of don't have their shit together. And then
That's just called being a
Gen
young
Z
male.
men are left with the only option is to date the millennial women.
Oh, they did a like switcheroo.
Yeah, they did a switcheroo because millennial men are like not dating the millennial ladies. They're like complaining constantly about how they can't find a guy, and maybe Gen Z men are the ones that they should go for because they're looking for a sugar mommy.
I know a couple scenarios where this
should have been
has
called.
happened.
I said this to Mary earlier, and Voltage Mike says it. Wait, no, it wasn't. It was Alan Garcia. It should be called mommy maxing. Hag maxing is just rude.
I think
That
both
is
are
rude.
pretty weird. I mean, hag maxing is insulting. Mommy maxing is just kind of perverted, and you really can't win. But yeah, they show this graphic.
Older
like,
adult female
a
maxing. How about
20-year-old
that?
guy and a
I thought that was a
37-year-old
20-year-old
woman.
chick. I thought they were like comparing.
No, that's supposed to be a male.
Oh,
Okay.
hold on, I'll put it on screen for people.
I'm
to
pretty
see.
sure that is supposed to be a man right there.
Well,
it's hard to
it's
believe.
a Gen Z man. I mean, sure.
That's yeah.
Little
It's very
and the ponytail,
Peter Pan-esque.
curly.
They're like
Yeah.
37-year-old women are
Skinny.
bussin' for real.
They got booty and everything.
And you know what? This also makes
Apparently.
sense because, you know, women in their late 30s, early 40s, they're technically millennials, right? And
Yes.
they look better than they used to at that age these days. Like, you've got all the skincare treatments and all of these, like, they stay really fit. Most of them actually have delayed becoming parents.
I think a lot of it has to do with,
less
like,
of a stressful lifestyle.
3 years ago or 4 years ago was the first time water was the #1 drink in America rather than
Really?
soda. Yeah,
That's
it's like people just
crazy.
aren't drinking soda as much.
Well, I
They're-
sent you this tweet. Like, this is what
Ozempic
38-year-olds
might
looked
change
like
that.
in 2005.
Yes.
And they all, I mean, it's partly the fashion, it's partly the haircuts, but genuinely, like, they look so much older than 38-year-olds do today. Because I guess people are just taking better care of themselves. We live more comfortably. But, you know, I think it's honestly sad because Gen Z women are letting themselves go at such an early age for no reason. And it seems like the millennial women are, like, taking better care of themselves because they're actually, like, you know, they're on the dating market still, when otherwise, like, in prior generations, they
because
would have
all
already
the-
been married.
It's all the women started wearing baggy pants, and it was a slippery slope from there. That's the
I don't
problem.
blame the baggy pants, you know, but obviously, you know, it's easier living than it used to be,
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah. Less stress. They're coming right out of college. They're getting great jobs. Women are graduating college at higher rates than men now. They're out earning them in the job
Yeah.
market. They're getting their Botox young, and they're gonna stay young forever.
I think they're starting to realize that, you know, women are just becoming more successful at life than men these days, whether that's because of DEI initiatives or what. It doesn't really matter because, I mean, women are starting to realize they're not going to be able to find a guy who makes as much money as them, who has the same, like, degrees as them, has the same, like, social status as them. So, you know, if they're going to settle, it might as well be with a guy who's younger, who has a good excuse for not having his shit together, right? Which is just being young.
But I feel like it's not gonna last. They're gonna get fed up eventually because this guy's gonna, like, these younger guys, I feel like, are gonna look at her as almost like not as mommy. But as someone that will take care of them, so they will never grow up. Men need to have that space, and they shouldn't be with someone who's already put together, because then where is their drive to actually grow, which is usually later for men than it is women.
That's a good point, for sure. And I agree. Like, I think it's inherently weirder for an age gap relationship to have an older woman.
Right. Because, I mean, when they're 25, this woman will be in her 40s already. And, I mean, eventually your looks will fade.
Yeah, and
Obviously
I mean, if you want
sooner
a
for
family,
women.
too, I mean, I know
That's
some people
also-
get mad about it, but, I mean, women do need to, if they want a family, they need to think about that at an earlier
Well,
age.
Maybe these Gen Z
I don't think
guys
they
don't want
do.
to.
I mean, that's
have
true, too. They
kids.
don't, a
Yeah.
lot of people, actually, a lot of Gen Zs don't, I mean, no one wants to have kids.
I
these
always found
days.
that point mute. You know, I know a lot of like the Red Pill podcast people and stuff like that. I'm not saying I disagree with everything or disavowing everything they say, but this whole idea of like the stereotypical 16-year-olds are hotter than 26-year-olds
That's disturbing.
because they're more fertile. I completely disagree because, well, first of all, you should have gone with 18, maybe 18 and 28. Then I would have agreed. But also, a lot of like some guys don't want to have like 7 kids.
right.
there.
I
Like,
would
the
say
tides-
most at this point, most people report
That's
that they
that's
only
not just
want
guys.
like 2.
That's guys and girls
Right.
these days. Both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guys are black pilled because of the economy, and the women are black pilled because of climate change. And everyone's black pilled for different reasons.
Wait, climate change is still a conversation?
Yes, it is.
Everyone's
Oh, it's
kind of
bigger
like
now than
infertile and autistic.
Is it
now.
really?
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
I
Clouds,
really
man.
am
Yeah,
not on the internet enough to.
The internet has
Everyone is
destroyed
autistic.
people's
Dude,
ability
that-
to socialize.
Yeah, I know a lot of like women, honestly, coming from California, this was the norm. Not the whole dating younger, but I do know a lot of women that were like in their late 30s who were dating men that were 10 plus years younger than them.
Wow.
Because they wanted to settle down and, you know, they were having trouble finding men their own age that were either like single, or if they were single, they weren't single because they were like weird. Or like,
Well,
you know,
right.
had
Well,
some
that's
kind
the
of
thing.
issue.
Like, usually if you're at that age, I mean, and there are exceptions. I really don't completely agree with it, but people say, like, if you're single at that age, there's a reason for it. I mean, but life happens. A lot of things, like,
Right.
a lot of
Yeah.
things you can't control, and there are so many good people out there that
How
are
dare you
older
be
and
nuanced? How dare you?
There's so many people who are
Yeah,
older
yeah.
who are amazing people, and just, you know, life happens. Things don't go our way sometimes. And so, fuck, shit. I say that?
That's okay.
Sorry.
No, you're okay.
I'm sorry. On the
don't
Gamer
own
Maids, we do not censor ourselves.
We try, but it's not a huge deal.
Okay.
As long
my
as it's
bad.
not in the first
Actually,
like 2 minutes.
the most
it's probably fine.
the funnier part of that is like usually when we swear or say those words, it's an inflection on a very important point, and yours was just kind of like,
Well,
"Ah,
I forgot my point, so that was
Didn't
why.
Tim come on and ask like if he's allowed to swear on this show?
Yes, I was like, I don't know,
Like,
man.
bro,
You
you're
tell
in
us."
charge.
Yeah.
But I think like I've noticed that Gen Z women are better off dating millennial men who are more ready to settle down. Like there's all this talk of like women are not wanting to settle down, but men are also acting like that. They're also like
That's not a gender
delaying
issue.
shit as long as possible. So
For sure. Like millennial men didn't want, I mean, like, I feel like as a millennial, you know, like growing up, I don't think marriage was promoted at all. Like
No.
until recently, as of lately, people are realizing that that was wrong.
I mean, it's still not. That's only because of the space you're in. You're in a space where that's a discussion that we're happening. This is a niche space.
Right.
Conservative media, especially if you, God forbid, you sit on conservative Twitter and you have to listen to these discussions. That's not the conversation going on in the real world with normal people. It's not It's not
Yeah.
like marriage is being promoted. Normies who are getting married, that's just because it was ingrained in them based on family values. But
Right.
you're not going to get mainstream media pushing that on you in any sort of
Definitely.
way. It's not promoted in movies or television.
No, the family unit's being destroyed.
There's
right now.
a
No
very
one wants
big point that they make that television tends to lean into the idea of found family. Of you know, your own, you know, a family that you build through friends and colleagues and loved ones, not
Totally.
your family, because they want to disparage the idea, because usually family in television media is used as a source of antagonism, not a source of happiness.
well, now you're seeing promotion of age gaps in Hollywood where the woman is older. So maybe that's planting seeds. It's like making people
Well, I think it's
see that as more appealing
Yeah.
over time. Like there was that Jennifer Lawrence movie, and then the recent Anne Hathaway movie in which they're playing women who are like 20 plus years older than their love interests.
Which is always funny to me because every couple of months there's an article about the inappropriate age gaps from movies past, but because it was an older man and a younger woman, it is now looked on less than fondly. But
Which is like 100 times more common anyway.
Right.
I'm saying, like, this is why I point out that movies don't reflect as much of reality as they used to, because back in the day, you were able to unabashedly approach issues that were part of the real world and talk about them in movies because there wasn't the constant internet backlash. Now they have to go into these niche ideas because these niche ideas are the ones that are promoted by the people that would give you backlash for the more commonplace ones.
Well, this is, I mean, just statistically, this is just a meme. So I'm looking at surveys right now that find the average age gap of romantic relationships in the U.S.
5 years.
It's not 5 years. It's usually 2 to 3.
Ooh.
For
It's
when
very,
the woman
very
is,
small.
is much older, or just age gaps in general.
In general, yeah, the majority of couples have an age gap of only 1 to 3 years. I think that's probably a symptom of people meeting in college,
Yeah.
because that's quite small.
Yep.
But yeah,
I just don't see this as
not common.
I don't see that. Other than the name, I wonder how much of it is just.
Is Hagmaxxing going to take over the culture?
No.
Is it the
will-
next big thing?
I would say that the marriage rates
Oh.
for this will be unbelievably low.
Is
Yeah.
is this not from stepmom, step brother stuff?
I was gonna. Okay, I refrained from making the point.
Okay.
But this is predictive programming from porn.
For sure.
This is just MILF porn predictive programming. It really is.
It's a real thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy how much porn has influenced our culture.
I
But
made
it's
the
in
point-
everything now.
It's in everything.
I made
Oh,
the
every
point
social media act, every movie.
where I said like there was the dude who gave an interview from one of these companies that said that they used to make like porn about like husbands with the babysitters, but they don't do that anymore because nobody can afford childcare. like they follow trends.
So sad and for all the wrong reasons.
Yes, that's the world we live in. That porn is your window into the unobstructed truth of the world.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's like, it's getting more violent, and then there's more like reports of violent sex as time goes on, and like more reports of death during kinky sex. Like I've like read about the research related to this, and it's actually, believe it or not, the media you consume does affect you.
Yeah, I think people believe that they're immune to it, but I've noticed this over the years. Now, part of it is because like when you go to rehab and you have to actually pay close attention to how you're behaving and how like the world around you affects you, I would notice that depending on what I'm watching, especially television shows where you get immersed in something for longer periods of time, the tone of that show would affect my mood. Mm-hmm. That's absolutely true, and that does happen. Mm-hmm. But I think if you're not paying
That's why
close
I
attention
hate watching
to it,
sad movies.
there you
Makes
go.
me
Well,
sad.
but the thing, I think movies are different. Like I feel like movies, it's more, especially if you go to the theater, that can be a cathartic experience, even if it's a sad one, because it's the whole process of going to the theater to do it. You've left your home, you've went out into the real world to have this experience. Whereas if you lock yourself in your room and you close all the blinds and you just watch a show for 8 hours and you watch something super depressing.
Well, that's why I haven't watched Eternal Sunshine for like the longest time, because I don't want to do that.
Maybe if it's people closing the blinds and watching dystopian television all day, and now they think the world is falling apart. That's shocking, right? But it's not shocking. It's just the world that we live in being reflected back at us and us putting it back out into the world.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.